Welcome to Currency 365. Welcome to another week of Iraq breaking news. Episode 13. What is it? 7/17/2015. Already halfway through the year. Now, let's get into the breaking news, the world news. But first of all, we know that Ramadan ends tonight and Eid begins, and they're celebrating that already. We also know that the historic nuclear deal went through on Tuesday officially. It actually happened on Monday, but they waited. We know that Iraq has launched an attack on Anbar province to attack Daesh and ISIS. We know that after the Eid holiday, there's going to be some reshuffling in the government of Iraq, and certain high positions are going to be changed out. We're still looking for the CBI government seat to be changed out. What else? What else can we know that's going to happen? We know that Iraq is having liquidity issues, and what do you call it? They're putting, I guess, a percentage of how much or limit how much the citizens can actually take out per day. Okay, so we already know all that. So let's get into the world news, and then we'll get into Iraq's news, okay? So China launches service to back President Jinping's Silk Road plan. More than 60 Asian and African and European countries will support the multi-billion-dollar geopolitical plan from President Jinping. So the Silk Road is in motion, people, okay? U.S. and international business eye an Iranian gold mine after nuclear deal. Okay, let's see what else is going on. The CIA, Iran will focus on the economy, not terrorism, with sanctions. Okay, I don't know how much I can believe that, but they're definitely going to explode their economy. We know that from the sanctions relief. All right. Greece debt crisis. Banks set to reopen on Monday. All right. So the banks will officially back open. All the banks will be back open Monday after they've been in crisis mode in Greece. The plan in Greece is terrible. Okay. And it's just going to continue to be terrible. Feel sorry for Greece, and then Italy, France, Germany, and everybody's going to get it in Europe, and then America's after them. So if I was them, I would actually look at the monetary policy and restructure the whole thing. Yes, people will suffer in the immediate future, but it will help them as a whole for the future, okay? The UN votes on the Iran nuclear deal Monday. So the official vote on the nuclear deal will be Monday. We know they reached the deal on Tuesday, but the official vote for the UN will be Monday to start to lift all the sanctions from Iraq, okay? Let's see. Chinese increased gold holdings by 57% in 1 month in first official update since 2009. Wow, 57%. That's big. Iran deal set to become international law. I know Congress isn't happy about that because they're like, hey, wait for us, man. Wait, because they want to veto this thing, man. They're not the only person, I've said this a million times this week, the only person that is happy about this new deal is Obama. Okay, Obama and the Iranian people, and of course Russia and China and North Korea, because Iran's going to become powerful and they're going to join them. Okay, so Obama's the only one that's happy about this deal. The American people hate this deal because you're giving your enemies the ultimate superpower to come back and destroy you. Okay, Congress is going to veto this. Okay, so the only one that is happy about this deal is Barack Obama. That should tell you something. That should your president is giving ultimate power to your enemy. That should tell you something. So anybody that's still supporting Barack Obama, anybody that feels a certain way about people attacking Barack Obama, this right here should ultimately tell you right in your face that Barack Obama has an agenda that is not for the American people. Point blank and simple. The American people hate this deal. The Western world hate this deal. Even Arabic countries like Bahrain and UAE and Saudi and them hate this deal. That should tell you something. But, you know, people are so brainwashed for somebody in a suit that they can't see straight or they can't think for themselves. So let's move on anyway before I get angry. Alright, so it says lifting sanctions will release 100 billion to Iran. Let me repeat that. Lifting sanctions when they vote on Monday, and then when Congress denies it, but Obama vetoes that, and when they lift sanctions, it will release $100 billion to your enemy, Iran, Americans, and Europe. Okay, so just to let you guys know, Detroit is not receiving any money. Chicago's in a war zone. Baltimore and all these states in America. Greece isn't receiving any money, but they're going to give Iran $100 billion. Just think about that when you're when you're supporting people that are against you. Okay. All right, let's move on. I said senators angry that UN will act on the Iran deal before Congress. See, Obama is the president of the UN. Some people don't even realize that. Okay, he's the president of America and he's also the president of the UN, which is unconstitutional, but no one is saying anything about it. But anyways, so Obama's racing to the UN so they can vote on this on Monday before Congress even has a chance to do anything. It says Congress lines up to oppose the Iran nuke deal. So the UN's going to vote on it first to make it an international law, so then Congress can't even say nothing about it. This is how evil people are in this world. And we sit back and we allow this to happen. Now, look, it's going to happen regardless. So I'm going to just find ways to benefit off of it. So, and I think you guys should too. If you guys can find ways to benefit off the Iran nuke deal, then go ahead and benefit off of it, because it's going to happen regardless. Because we have people in power that want it to happen, and they're going to do anything in their might and their power to make sure it happens. Okay, so might as well just try to benefit off of it any way you can. All right. So let's move on to Iraq breaking news. Okay, Iraq closes border crossing with Jordan to prevent funding for militants. All right. So, oh man, Iraq's still dealing with so much ISIS and Daesh and things. Close all your borders and then get in there and have the Peshmerga and kick some butt, okay, and just get these people out of here. But yeah, closing the borders is good news, okay? A deputy for citizens is likely to read the controversial laws after the Eid holiday. All right, so we know that these laws are going to be coming up. We got the National Guard, the federal court, and just which is a Supreme Court law, which is really important. And then we have these other laws that we're also going to bring to the table as well that are controversial, and they're going to start reading these laws. So that's good news for us. So they're going to have to start moving it here. Okay, it says the United Nations stands ready to play a mediating role between Baghdad and Erbil. All right, so everybody's going to try to step up here. IMF, World Bank, and now the United Nations. United Nations is putting their business into everybody's business. So we got to watch these people. United Nations it shouldn't be putting their 2 cents or into everybody's every country, and they're starting to do it. They're starting to be the big bullies on the block. I've been seeing that, but they're going to try to help mediate the Baghdad Erbil deal. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let's move on. Experts: Iran nuclear deal will raise the pressure on the dollar in Iraq. I did a video on this already. Check the channel for that video. All right, let's move on. Iraqi Kurdistan celebrate Eid festival. Okay, so the Kurdistan region has already started celebrating the Eid festival today. I think most of the other countries will do it in the morning on Saturday morning, but Kurdistan started early. Okay, it says immigration minister 87% of the issuance of the card in order to card for displaced people in the whole of Iraq. All right, so 80% of people in Iraq have been ordered cards, and I'm not sure what type of cards these cards are though. Doesn't really say. It says this says issuance card. Let me see if it says anything about these cards right here. Nope, it just says issuing cards. Well, it says receive benefits, million dinars, and card ironing card. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, well, I don't know what type of card these are, but 87% of Iraq are gonna have these cards. I don't know what. I'm not sure which type it are because it doesn't say it in the article. So let's move on. Obama, we will work with Abadi to adopt a comprehensive strategy to restore Iraq's abilities. All right. So basically, we're gonna help restore Iraq back to the point where they can launch their global market economy and revalue this currency that should have been revalued a long time ago. All right, so let's move on. Parliamentary questioning the independence of the central bank. See, this is not a good article right here, okay? Because Mohammed Al-Kash, he has to be a Maliki guy here. I don't know if he is or not, but to question if this the independence of the central bank, that has to be somebody that is clearly against monetary policies. And he even said the central bank is not independent, and says that it is the most important. Oh wow. So he's saying that it is the most important to not have the central bank independent. Well, that goes against monetary policies because the all the CBIs around the world are independent. Iraq has to have an independent CBI to launch a global market economy because global market economies have independent CBIs. And Abadi already stated why the CBI is struggling is because they won't make it independent. The parliament is sticking their fingers into the central bank's business, and they shouldn't be. Okay, so this has to be a Maliki man, a Maliki guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know, but when you say that the central bank is not independent and they shouldn't be independent, then that goes against monetary policies, and we're not for that. Okay, so it says Iraqi budget deficit forecast to rise 30%. So it's a member of the Parliament Finance Committee, Jabbar Al Abadi, the proportion of the project deficit in next year's budget in 2016 will exceed 30%. Okay, so they're having huge budget deficit problems. Now, this is without a revaluation and everything like that, okay? So they're projecting everything without a revaluation, okay? So when they project next year, I don't even think how they even going to be able to get into next year because this year's budget they're down to like maybe 15% of their money funding left, and we're in July. Okay, their budget deficit for this year is probably now at $50 billion, and it's getting bigger and bigger as they launch wars in Anbar, Mosul, Fallujah. It's gonna skyrocket. Oil prices have plummeted down to $50 a barrel. I mean, how can they even talk about 2016 budget, which is they forecast 30% the deficit, when their deficit in this budget is outrageous? It's gonna take a huge revaluation to end these budget deficits. So that's good news for us. Bad news for them right now, but if they revalue, it'll be good news for them because they'll wipe away all that stuff. Okay. Central bank auction to sell a record level of more than $364 million. So Wednesday, its auction saw a record sale of $364 million as they try to close the gap between the 1166 program rate and the street rate, okay, by flooding in dollars into the country. So let's move on from there. All right, let's see. Let's see if I have anything else to talk about here. Yeah, I still got plenty more stuff. What time is it? 14:27. All right, under 20 minutes. Let's see if I can keep you guys under 20 minutes. All right. Sell crisis. Decided to start issuing treasury remittance and the launch of the national bonds to the public. All right. So let me repeat that. Sell crisis. So there's a sell crisis group that's led by Abadi, decided to start issuing treasury remittance and the launch of a national bonds to the public. Okay, and this is gonna probably be in the coming days here. All right, let's move on to something else. See what else I got for you guys. Nuri al-Maliki, poisonous legacy in building a sectarian state is still a work in his denigration of the fate of millions of Iraqis. All right, so this was a headline. Ooh, they are hurting Maliki in the public headlines here in Iraq. Okay, they have to make him. They have to bring this out so the international criminal courts can trial him and get him out of here for genocide. And the people need to know what he's done to the people. And I'm pretty sure they do know. They know. All right, so it says nuclear deal. Saudi signals they'll act before Iran gets the money. Oh wow. So before Iran sees that big payday from the sanctions being lifted and stuff, the Saudi says they're going to act before Iran gets that money. And I'm pretty sure Israel's going to do the exact same thing, okay? Once these sanctions are lifted, it's about to be all-out wars coming. So I don't know when, we don't know when, but we know that Saudi's going to try to protect themselves, and also Israel's going to try to protect themselves, okay? So this is why we're saying this is why Congress doesn't want to pass this nuke deal, okay? Because they know the wars are going to be coming. Let's see. The central bank stopped dealing with Iranian bank after attended by international. Okay, that headline is horrible translation. All right, so what happened here? Okay, they stopped dealing with a bank, Melli Iran branch in Iraq, and denied that the decision is linked to Iran's nuclear agreement, with the majority of the 6 countries stressed that the decision came after the receipt of the bank's name in a list of prohibitions international. Okay, so they try to give an excuse there. All right, Kurdistan supports the orientation of the federal government on the oil agreement. The Kurdistan Alliance bloc said that it supports the direction of the federal government and the Kurdistan regional government to find a new formula serves the parties with respect to the oil agreement. Cool. All right. So now let's get into the Striker. I never bring up the Dinar gurus, but I love Striker. He's one of the coolest guys. He's not on my top 5, but he was. If I had a top 6, he would have been number 6 on my list. And if you haven't seen my top 5 Dinar gurus for 2015, go check it out. The videos in my video section. All right, so Striker has 3 different people. We talked about Turkey last week, so he's in this one as well. But and also Saleh, and then there's another guy named Anbuj. Okay, Anbuj. Let me go through all 3 of them because Striker puts it out here. It says Anbuj, Counselor of Economic Affairs, Prime Minister, quote, there is no benefit of the Iraqi economy to uphold at the official current exchange rate set by the central bank, one US $1 equals 1166 dinars. We must move to a higher level reduces the negative effect of a hyperbole price of the dinar exchange and creates positive effects. All right, so we already know what Turkey said. He said that last week that the physical and monetary authorities in Iraq now that is seriously considered and bravely adjust the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar. Okay, we already know that. And then also Saleh said that we need to unify in the exchange rate between the central bank and the price that deals with people in the market and make it pricier, one actual commensurate with the oil and economic conditions of the volatile price. Okay, so they're all saying that we need to change the rate to the reality of Iraq and with the oil and everything like that. So all 3 of these advisors support moving the exchange rate higher to conform with today's circumstances. Okay, so that's great news. So let's see what happens after the Eid holiday. You guys have been great. It's been 20 minutes, man. So thank you, Currency 365. I'm out.